Here we are back at our query wizard. What we want to do now is to see how far we can drill down into information about maternal, newborn and child health. As you see, I've already chosen all donors and recipient is the Democratic Republic of Congo. ODA, disbursements, right, that's fine. Now, the new area that we're going to change is sectors. Instead of looking at all sectors, the total amount of aid, we want to look at some detailed sector codes. So click on there, and here we've got a list of the detailed sector codes. So looking down, we can find here that we've got a grouping on health. Clicking that button, right, now this warning dialog, we don't need it, so we will not show that anymore. Let's just carry on. Okay. Clicking on the health grouping button brings up every item in the group to be shown individually. We're not interested in seeing all the items, so we won't do that. But we would like to see the health projects, the overall list of health projects. Within this health grouping, can we get something about maternal, newborn and child health? No, it doesn't seem as if we've got an option within the health grouping. But what's this here? We've got another grouping called Population Policies, Programs and Reproductive Health. Now, reproductive health is pretty close to maternal, newborn and child health issues, so I think we should be interested in that one. Let's have a look at the total for that grouping as well. And also we can see that lower down in the list we've got a more specific grouping just for reproductive health care, which ought to be more or less exactly what we're looking for. However, we might fear that somewhere in these other health programs there are going to be project activities which also involve mother and child health, but haven't been coded as it because they also involve some of these other aspects of healthcare. Okay, but anyway, we've chosen these categories which are probably the most useful ones for us to look at. Click OK there. Having made those selections here, we've got 4 selected here. The other different thing we're going to do this time is that we want to see project level data. Let's display it. Okay, what we get now is actually a second tier of selection. Most of the things we want are pre-selected, but in this box here we've now got a choice composed of the items which we pre-selected earlier. If you look at the table at the moment, what it's giving us is the amount for the full amount for all sectors, but we can cut that down and look at just the health figure here, and see here that the amount of health ODA for DRC was about 415 million US dollars. That's million US dollars. Let's have a look at the population policies, programs and reproductive health sector or group, and that's a further $152 million. And then within that, let's look specifically at reproductive health care. Now, coded specifically for reproductive health care is only about $16 million. Now, in this table, the fun thing we can do is click on the figure, and what we are going to get then is a table of individual projects. So the year, the donor, the agency name, and so forth. This agency name means the donor agency name. This is presumably a Belgian official agency. Going along, we get the project title and a short description and a long description. The way in which these information fields have been filled in is a little bit idiosyncratic and variable depending on the policies of the agencies where the information is being filled in, or their systems or something. So here we've got a project title which is very long. Here we've got a very long, well, yes, comparatively a very long project description. And yet other agencies may not fill in the long description at all, and in many cases it's quite short. So in order to try to find out exactly what's going on in these projects, we can look at the long description if there is one, and the short description and the project title. What other columns can help us here? Well, we were looking for locations. There isn't a specific location column, so we'd have to again try and see if we can find anything about locations in the long description or the project title. We're looking for something about the objectives and the methods of the projects. Again, no specific columns, and we'd have to try and search in the long descriptions of the projects. We want to find out what organizations are receiving the money. There is a column which can help us a bit, which is this one, channel of delivery name. Well, channel of delivery, what we're getting though is often a more generic term. We're not getting the name of the NGO receiving, but we're getting a term like national NGOs are the kinds of recipient, public sector, international NGOs, national NGOs. Here we've got the name of a particular agency, but that's a very big one. So it looks as if a few very large organizations can get named individually here, but for the most of them it will just be a generic term.